Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little chatty video. We're going to be talking palettes as we always do on this channel. But we are going to be going through my favourite palettes for spring. So all the palettes in my collection that give me the spring vibes, give me that like fresh start of the year, pastels, some pastels, bright vibes, just all the things that when I think of like this time of year, February, March, April, that's the kind of vibe I get from these palettes, and I'm just really excited to kind of play with these palettes a little bit more. I will be playing with them a little bit more here and there, and I just love all the looks I've created over the years because some of them go back a couple of years with these palettes, so I'm excited to show you guys. I've got videos on every single one of the palettes. Yes, every single one of these, I have at least a first impressions or 2 looks on palette up. So go search any of them on my channel and you'll be able to find them. But that's what we're going to be doing in this video. I'm kind of going to go by brand. It's not a ranking, it's not a top 10, but there is 10 palettes. And I'm going to do that for each one. I'm going to do a summer one, and then an autumn one, and then a spooky one, and then a winter one. Because I have to do spooky separate because I've accumulated a lot of spooky palettes. Just before we get into this video, this look is filmed. It will be live on my channel, so go hit subscribe down below to see that coming up soon. It's a fun palette and it's very springy, and I think it went well with filming this look or filming this video. And my TikTok and Instagram are linked down below where you can go follow both of those for a little bit of extra content and all the up close eye pictures and full face pictures all over my Instagram. So let's not ramble on anymore. Let's just ramble on about these palettes. So we're going to start with Kidos, and all these palettes are not available anymore because Kidos decided to just like stop doing all the fun stuff. And here we are. So we're going to start with some Futurism palettes. 2 Futurism palettes to be precise. This is Sashimi City. This is neutral. So I'm starting neutral because yes, I do wear neutrals. I do like neutrals sometimes, but this is a neutral palette that I adore. So this is what the packaging looks like. Very soft, very ethereal kind of look to it. And this is the gorgeous neutral palette. So you've got 2 different browns, one more cool tone brown and one warmer, peachier sort of matte, a more mustardy matte, and then a more golden duochrome, and then a more pinky duochrome. The shimmers in this palette are so stunning. They're just so stunning. The mattes blend beautifully. It's just the most cohesive neutral palette, and if I'm going like proper neutral, this is the kind of palette I would go for, because I like neutrals with twists. I like neutrals with a little bit of fun, interesting elements to them. This is the palette that I go for if I am going for just neutrals. I always gravitate towards this, and I adore this palette. So even though it's discontinued, if you want to see any more looks or anything like that, I can do that. I can even do it on Instagram or something like that, and you can go check it out. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below for any of these looks. Yeah, I'm going to pop up swatches of any of the palettes that I have here, and you can see them a little bit more up close. But this is the gorgeous palette here. I love the kind of more peachy end and then the more mustardy end. I think it's such a fun way to break up a palette and still give 2 different types of neutrals and very cohesive looks with the neutrals, because you've got your transition shade, your darker shade, and then your shimmer, and the same with the other end as well. Perfect little neutral palette for me. I think it's just so stunning, so pretty. I love it. Yeah, Kidos, bring them back please. And then next actually came out with that palette as well. This is the Lunar Lavender one, and again, lovely packaging. This one's a little bit more, has kind of like seaweed on it or something like that. It's almost oceany kind of themed, but this is a here. So you've got your 2 different browns, which gives you the neutral element, and 2 different matte purples here, and then you've got more of a violet sort of duochrome, and then more of just like a topper lilac duochrome here. I do think the browns are a tiny bit random. I maybe would have liked, I don't know, something, maybe this to be a really deep aubergine shade that you could use this to blend out with. I don't know, something like that. But I love these kind of pastel-y sort of lavenders. I love the shimmers as well. Again, swatches will be up as well. But I love all of just like the different kind of elements you can do. So you can just do full on neutral or full on purple. The problem is I don't think you can kind of mix them as well. You can with the lighter brown, but the darker brown I find it a little bit too brown just for the tones of the lilac that's in there. But I still love this palette. I love the shimmers. Again, the shimmers in this and the shimmers in this Sashimi City are so stunning. I love it so much, but yeah, I love this palette. And next is a very special palette for me. This is actually was a birthday present from my boyfriend. This is the Kidos Flower Punk palette, and it's got like a reflection there, so I'm going to try not to blind you guys. It's got the gorgeous decor, like jungle kind of vibe to it as well. Just such a beautiful palette, and this one's different. This one kind of flips off like this, and you've got your mirror here, And then this is the beautiful palette here as well. So again, pastel vibes. There's a bit of grunge with these tones of green down here, more khaki greens, more chartreuse shades. Very soft blushy pinks, which is gorgeous, and these light teal shades as well. The shimmers are so beautiful. This shimmery green is immaculate. It's so beautiful, but the two other shimmers as well are stunning. And I think you can pair everything together. So I actually did a look where I think I used almost every shade in the palette. Almost. I tried to for my first impressions, and then I did an all teal look and then an all kind of pink with a little bit pop of green sort of look as well, from what I can remember. I could be wrong about that second look, but I definitely did a teal look because I remember the lip that I was wearing. But I love this palette. I think it's so beautiful, really soft. You're not going to get super deep looks unless you just use the greens, but just gives you that soft, ethereal, fairy kind of vibe as well. I think she's beautiful. Now, moving on from Kidos, we have got one that I used years ago, literally years ago. This is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. Remember her? She's a good one. Oh, she's a good one. So again, I'm going to hold it upside down so I don't blind you guys. But you've got more of the kind of like pastel shades, especially down here with the blues, the lilacs, the kind of pinky, blushy sort of shades as well. There's neutrals here as well, so you can do little pops of neutral as well. But the shimmers in this palette are so stunning. I maybe would have liked one more deep shade, like a deep teal or something like that in the palette. But the colours in this are just so beautiful. I think like this one here is almost like a pressed glitter, but not quite. It's still a shimmer. This one here is like a gorgeous duochrome. Beautiful topper shades. Just so beautiful for this. And the beige I can kind of get rid of, and even this one here I could probably get rid of and maybe replace that with like a deep matte like this kind of color here, and maybe more of like a purple shade or something like that. But I adore this palette. I've always loved this palette. I do dip into it every now and again when I feel like it. It's beautiful. Up next is one that I used early last year, and this one screams like springtime. The weather's getting a little bit nicer, the days are getting a little bit brighter. This is the Nomad Fête de Provence palette, and I really have been loving Nomad Cosmetics. I do feel like the mattes, especially the deeper mattes in this, could be a little bit stronger, but if you use them the right way, it's fine. Like if you layer them first and then blend out with the lighter shades, you're fine. I love the grey on this end. I just think it's a very different kind of element to this. The pink and or the yellow and the purple like beside each other really contrast, really draws your eye in as well. You've got a row of shimmers in the middle, and then the top and bottom rows are matte. I love this matte yellow down here. It's this row here that I use that I felt like it just could have been a bit more punchy, but I put this down first and then I put this on top. I think if I'd done it the other way around, it might have been a little bit better. I haven't used these at all yet, but I've used everything else. But I definitely think, like, look at it. It looks like flowers, doesn't it? It just looks like flowers. It's so pretty. And then you've got your little bit of grunge, which I'll always take a little bit of grunge at any time of the year. And yeah, I'm excited to play with it a little bit more. I did do one of my favourite looks I've ever done using the greys and the yellows in this palette. So I can't knock that with this palette. I think it's so beautiful. So yeah, definitely a springy palette, definitely early on in the year, like March time, that kind of vibe, you know what I mean? It's like a refresh makeup, you know what I mean? Refresher kind of makeup. Next on to Odins Eye, and one of my favorite Odins Eye palettes. This is the Florist Story palette from Odins Eye and Makeup Just for Fun. This was for their Perfect World collection, and this is the beautiful color story here. So this is like in the woods, a little bit murky. You've got the little bits of color. You've kind of got more khaki shades. You've got a gorgeous multi-chrome up here. The shimmers in this are stunning. The idea of the purple and the khaki together really draws me in. Like, it really makes me want to use this palette. I love these mauvey sort of tones. I think they're beautiful. This pop of like a emerald kind of shade as well, and the shimmers down here are beautiful. This random neutral as well, this I like. I really love this, because this with this you get a very soft kind of look as well, or this and this one here, you also get a nice soft look as well, but a little bit more smoky. So you can go more neutral if you want to, with a fun element of shimmer, and you can go all matte and neutral, but you have those greens that are still quite wearable. This is like a good step in for anyone who's a bit afraid of colour but wants to start using colour. This is a really good palette as well. Another Odins Eye, we've got this one and another one to go. This one is the Saga of Freya Cat with a Golden Carriage Cat's Breath palette. This one is like a contrast in a contrast. Look at that colour story. You've got teal, blue, greens and orange, and they don't go, like, they don't blend together, but they go really well together. They look really good beside each other. You've got a neutral element in here. This shade is so sparkly. This shade looks wet on the eyes. This is a really thin, just like sparkly topper as well. But these two shimmers here are so stunning. I really love the looks I've done with this as well, where I kind of paired them like the orange and the green beside each other, or done a halo eye or something along the lines of that. The palette is like, this is like where the shimmers in Odins Eye was really coming about, with different kind of textures. So like these two kind of like speckled shades where they have like colours in them, and then you mix them together when you're applying them. And then this one appears like your classic foil sort of shade, and then this is just your sparkle shimmer. I love this palette so much. I really need to, this is why I don't want to buy any more palettes, because I want to play with these ones that are so beautiful. Like all the ones I just showed you guys are so beautiful. I need to start playing with them a little bit more. So that's my plan this year. I want to try and dip into palettes here and there wherever I can. But yeah, I love this palette. I love all these palettes. I'm going to say that for all of them. I love them. And then next I was like, oh, I forgot you could be a spring palette. And it does give me spring vibes when I think about it. And actually could recreate this look a little bit with this palette. This is the Hella palette from Odins Eye and Angelica Nyqvist. This is beautiful. This bottom row is my favourite though. I know it's grungy and there's nothing springy about it, but this bottom row is my favourite part of the palette. I love the pops of pink. It's like a green palette with pops of pink in it, and it's so pretty. But the pinks you can kind of pair well. So like if you done this and this, like these three pinks, and then paired with this and this and maybe a little bit of this on top, you'd get something like this. You could recreate this look. But I love the matte. I love the amount of mattes as well. The lightest shade is shimmer, the dark shade is a matte, which I always love. But you do have a really, really dark, almost black shimmer down here as well. This one is so beautiful. It's like a duochrome burgundy to blue kind of gunmetal sort of shade. And then the lime greens. We all know I love a lime green, and I'll always have a lime green wherever I can get one. But yeah, I love this. And like some of the greens can lean neutral as well, so you have that sort of element to it as well. I love the idea of it. I think it's so beautiful. I think it's so pretty. Yeah, I love it. Next up is Juvia's Place. This is an oldie palette. This one is a real oldie palette. This is the Deuce palette. And this colour story just makes me happy. Look at it. It's so pretty. Now, I do have qualms with some of the palettes, obviously I've mentioned already. So I think this one is nearly too dark for this palette because everything else is so soft. So all it's going to do is like kill the colour down. This I wish kind of came out this colour. It doesn't. It's a little bit sheerer than that, but I wish it was more like punchy, more like that neon magenta that you can see there. I do really like this shade. I love the shimmers in it as well. I think they go really well, and I love this shade here for a like contour or just quickly over the eye. Like this and this go together with this, or this and this and this go well together, but it like I need something to deepen this because it's not strong enough, but then this is just going to kill the colour. So it's a difficult one, but I do love the colour story. I do like to dip into it every now and again. I just might not use it just on its own. I might pair it with something else, like maybe the Hella palette or the Flora Story palette, something like that, just to kind of get another element in to help more with more of a cohesive look as well. Yeah, I do really love this palette. I do. With all the things I would change about it, I still love the palette. I would never declutter this. And then the last palette for this video, this is a quick video. These are quickie little videos. I will be doing them kind of the beginning of every season. This one is the Beauty Bay New Romantics palette. This is not available anymore, definitely not. This was when I was in my phase of buying all the Beauty Bay 20 pan palettes because I always thought they were much better quality than what they were bringing out at the time. They have actually since brought out really good ones that I haven't tried yet, but they are really good. But I loved the colour stories they were coming out with this, and this is like romantic, grungy, sexy. So like this down here is all sexy to me. See down here? This is all sexy. And then up here is very soft and romantic. And then you've got your pops of colours, and there's like beautiful purple and corally kind of shades, but warm browns if you want to go more warm brown. You've got a khaki shimmer down here and like a khaki brown, a black as well. This I could skip, to be honest. I really could just skip this and maybe do a more like fuchsia sort of shimmer like this, something like that. but I love this palette. This is like, the reason why I wanted this in my spring palette is because this is like your Valentine's palette. This is what you would wear in February if you're going out for Valentine's Day on a date, or a Galentine's and you're going out with your friends, or you're doing nothing. Like sometimes me and my boyfriend kind of do, where we just sit in and watch a movie or something like that. Sit in, do nothing, and I might do my makeup for no reason, because I'm going up with my boyfriend tonight to watch movies and this is what I look like. But yeah, like stuff like that, like something that you can kind of add to different things like that, where you have a palette to kind of go with an occasion. And I love that kind of vibe. So love the New Romantics palette. I love the shimmers. The shimmers from Beauty Bay are so beautiful. They're absolutely stunning. I love this palette so much. Oh, I'm done. Okay, that was very quick. I've only been filming for like 17 minutes. Yeah, that was really quick. So that was my 10 spring palettes that give me the spring vibes. So that is all. I would love to know down in the comments below, what are your palettes that give you spring vibes? Like, give me a list. Give me a list of palettes that to you are like, oh, springtime, I want to play with all my pastel shades, I want to play with all my bright colours, I want to play with all my greens or all my pinks or anything like that. Let me know down in the comments below, because I'd love to know what other people get the vibe off, you know what I mean, for different things. Because as I've said before, with like doing my monthly build your own palette video, I have got synesthesia and I do get vibes from certain things with colours. So this is why I like this kind of stuff, where it's kind of like these palettes represent spring for me. And I'll do one for summer, which probably be more bright, tropical kind of shades, or very warm shades, or because I'm a summer baby and my birthday's in the summer, it'll be shades I love or palettes I love as well. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below, what are your favorite springtime palettes? If you did like this video, give me a big thumbs up down below. It's the quickest, simplest and easiest way to give me a little bit of support, get me around to people, and also let me know that you liked the video, and I will continue to do many more. And don't forget to subscribe down below to see many more videos coming up. We have got the monthly build your own palette video, which is what this look is from, and I'll be doing 2 looks in that. I've got another 2 looks on palette towards the end of the month to catch up on one that I've already done. There'll be a lot of 2 looks on palettes this year, just let me tell you that. 2 looks on palettes will be coming in a horde this year. But also more chatty videos and more of these kind of videos where I just chat palettes instead of having to use palettes all the time, because sometimes my eyes just can't take it and sometimes I just don't have time. But chatting palettes I always like to do. And as I said in the beginning, my Instagram is linked down below, where I post all my up close eye pictures and full face pictures of all my looks, and my TikTok is down there as well, so you can see a little bit of extra content. So I think that's everything for me, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.